everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna, aka Hooked by Brianna, and today we're doing a video that I was really scared to do. It's unpopular opinions or hot takes about crochet. This video was inspired by Made in the Moment. I love their content, highly recommend it if you are a fiber artist as well. I was really scared to make this video because I didn't want to offend anybody, but I'm gonna say it right out the gate. This is all for fun. I'm just reacting to your opinions as well as saying if I agree or disagree or whatnot. I'm not gonna put all opinions that I got, but I am going to put the ones that I thought were the most interesting and that I can offer commentary on. I love watching unpopular opinion videos, whether it's about pop culture or just anything going on in the world, so I thought it would be really fun to do it with crochet or fiber arts. Hopefully the audio is also better because I got this microphone and hopefully it works well. It's my first time using it. I didn't test it at all or anything, so we're just throwing it out there, just trying to see if it works out. But it probably should. If you see this video, the microphone quality was on point. But enough of me rambling. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and let me know if you want to see more videos like these. So the first one is, gauge isn't important to make a fitting garment. And honestly, I agree with this statement. If you bought any of my patterns, you'll notice that I don't use a gauge on my patterns either, and I just also never follow the gauge when I am following another pattern. I just think it's more important to reach specific measurements with however many stitches you end up doing, rather than trying to crochet exactly like another creator, like trying to have the same tension, because I think that could be a little stressful, and it's probably easier to just try to meet specific measurements than reaching a certain stitch count and measurements. That's just a lot in my opinion. The next one is, granny square wheel covers are not cute. I do think they're cute, but I do not think they are safe. I can't speak on everyone's crochet wheel cover, but some fibers do get loose over time even if you do sew it directly onto the wheel. So I will say, if you do have a crochet wheel cover, use it with caution and make sure you're educated on the dangers of crochet wheel covers. This person says crochet is better than knit. Crochet is so much more versatile. So I'm not going to agree with this one, even though I can't knit, but I really do love the look of knitted projects. I think they also make cool garments and accessories, but I guess I can say that crochet is a little more versatile, but I wouldn't necessarily say crocheting is better than knitting. But when it comes to crocheting, you can do a lot of home stuff, you can do garments, you can do plushies, you can do a lot with crochet. So I will agree that it is versatile, but I do not think that it is necessarily better than knitted work. This person says crochet doesn't look great in dresses. So as someone who has crocheted dresses before, I will disagree. I will add that making crochet clothes is hard to pull off sometimes because some materials just look too stiff to be a good garment. You know, when it comes to crochet, I think flowiness is very important, unless it's something that needs to be structured, like a hoodie. But like when using worsted weight yarn specifically, it can be hard to make a crochet dress look good. I will say I have seen a lot of good looking crochet dresses, but I will say that it can come off as stiff a lot of the time unless they have movement. I really love crochet dresses with movement. That's something I enjoy. This person said, more expensive yarn isn't better yarn. What you have and what you like to use is better yarn. I do agree that you do not need expensive yarn to make a good looking garment. I feel like the finished product is the most important thing when it comes to good looking garments, not necessarily the material that you use for it, because I use the cheapest yarn sometimes I use expensive yarn, but even some of the garments I made with cheap yarn and yarn that I already had in my house, it still turned out just as good as some expensive yarn that I purchased. Just sometimes I like to buy some expensive yarn when I have the extra money, or when I want to make something super flowy like with this type of yarn. But yeah, I definitely say 90% of the time I'm using cheap yarn for my work, especially with my tutorials, because I know that's more accessible for people to get rather than getting some expensive yarn from a yarn boutique. I will say support small businesses and those yarn stores rather than just the big box yarn stores. But in reality, in this day and age, everything is expensive, and I want to make it a point that you could still be a crochet artist even if you don't have the most money to spend on yarn. This person said, granny square clothes are overrated. I totally get if it's for a checkerboard pattern or if you're going for a nice plaid, so you're joining a bunch of squares. Those are cute to me, but I'm not really a fan of the granny square tops or pants I've seen. I have a love-hate relationship with granny square pieces. Of course, I've made a ton of them, but I will say that it can be overdone, but I guess because it is a traditional crochet thing, it is very versatile. You can do a lot with the granny squares, but I will say some of the color combinations is a reason why some granny squares don't look as good as others. But I do think granny square things are cute, but I wouldn't say it's the best when it comes to crochet work, especially when you get more experience with the art. But I will say it's a staple, especially when you're a beginner, because they're so easy and you can do so much with the granny squares. This person said, I crochet because it's easier than knitting to me, even though I prefer the look of knitting. I agree. If you know me, you know I cannot knit, but I do have some knitting needles, and this year, by the end of the year, I want to learn how to knit. Even if it's not that good, I want to learn, because I tried one time, gave up because it was too hard for me. But I will say that I agree with this person. I love the knit look. Like I said before, I just can't do it, so that's why I crochet only. I will say I won't only crochet because I can't knit, but I only crochet because I can knit. Like, it's a different sentence. I'm not crocheting just because I don't know how to knit, so I settled for crocheting. That's a better way to put it. I just crochet only. Like, I primarily crochet because I don't know how to knit. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. So this person said, it's easier to learn by making toys than clothes. I am terrible at making clothes. I can never get the tension right. For toys, you just need to be consistent. So I will agree. Whenever I first started crocheting, I actually started by making amigurumi toys and stuff like that. So that is what taught me how to crochet initially. And I just think it's easier to make toys in general because you don't have to aim for a specific size. And even if you don't get the right size that you're looking for or whatever, it doesn't really matter because it's still a toy. It's not like it needs to be a specific size. You can even use any hook size, any yarn for the toys, and they'll still look just as good. But with clothing, it's a lot because measurements are really important in crocheting clothing. And it's also just harder to do because you have to make sure it fits the person correctly. And with crocheting toys, you don't really have to worry about that. This person said, I can't stand the Harry Styles sweater. I won't say that I agree with this statement, but I will say that it has blown up a lot. And with music or trends and stuff like that, people tend to get tired of things because it's just been shown so much. It's just been pushed in our faces so much. And I will say that the Harry Styles sweater was made by almost everybody who crochets, and I can see how you cannot like it. I will say that it is a cute sweater, but I will say that it is overdone. This person said cotton yarn is the best yarn, and I loathe acrylic yarn. Touching it gives me the ick. So I will say that I disagree. I do like all types of yarn besides wool, because wool is really scratchy to me in my opinion, at least the ones that I've touched. When it comes to acrylic, these days a lot of the acrylic yarns feel really nice too. Like most of this stuff back here is made with acrylic yarn. I use cotton yarn majority in the summertime, but when it comes to acrylic yarn, I like using that in the winter for the most part. And I like cotton yarn when I want something more flowy, but I want acrylic yarn when I want something more constructed and stuff like that, more stiff. But I won't say that it's a bad stiff because you can get that stiffness out when you wash it. When it comes to acrylic yarn, different brands have better acrylic yarn. I will say Big Twist is a good acrylic yarn that you can get that feels really nice as well. And the yarn from Hobby Lobby, like Yarn Bee and I Love This Yarn, those are really good acrylic yarns and they feel pretty nice. But when it comes to some value yarns like Red Heart, I feel like is really rough sometimes. It also depends on the color though, because black always seems to be rough for me when I get black acrylic yarn. It's just always more stiff than any other color, even if it is the same brand. That's just something I noticed. I don't know if it's just me, but I wouldn't say that cotton yarn is superior. It just depends on what the project is and what season you're making it for. This person said that they do not like the crochet ski mask, or I don't know how to say the word, blavocados. Valavic, I don't know. ski mask. We'll just say ski mask. They don't like the crochet ski mask, and honestly, I have to say I agree. Although I do think some people can pull off a ski mask, I just can't. I don't know what I would wear with it, and it's just not something that I would personally wear, so it's not something that I would make. But that doesn't mean they're horrible. If you like the crochet ski mask, that's you, and you can enjoy your crochet ski mask, but it's just not for me personally. This person says, I don't understand the tennis ball trend to create an ergonomic hook. Doesn't it limit your range of motion to solely your wrist? I use my fingers a lot to maneuver my hook, so I feel like the tension would be lost with a handle that large, or my hands are tiny. So I do agree. I did see this trend going around on TikTok, and I never tried it just because I think my hand is pretty small too, and it would just make me not be able to have as much control over my stitches as I would if I just use a regular hook with the little cushion on it. I don't have any problems with the hook that I use now, even though my hand does hurt sometimes, but that's just because I crochet so much. But yeah, I don't get the tennis ball thing either, and I don't know if people actually use it or if they just tried it out for the trend. So those are all of the opinions that I will be reacting to for this video. If you do want to see more of the opinions that I received, because I put it on literally every social media platform I was on, I'll be happy to make a part 2 to this video. Please comment down below your own crochet related or fiber arts related unpopular opinions. I would love to hear them and reply to them, or I might just save them for a part 2 if y'all really want a part 2 that bad. But yeah, please don't take offense to any of the opinions that were given in this video. I tried to make it not that controversial because some of these unpopular opinions got pretty mean, and I just thought it's no point of including those when they don't even create a conversation, but it's really just bashing other people and what they like. So yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed it, even though I didn't go all in putting in all the controversial opinions, but I just wanted it to stay a good time over here, stay positive and whatnot. Feel free to also comment down below your own opinions on these other people's opinions that I reacted to with my opinions. Happy crocheting and peace.